Yeah, may I remind you that you're still under oath? And you're expected to speak the truth? Before the break, you were still trying to dissect Yaya Jammeh for us?
Jandung uyokulaja tit ulakolako ergali makanirabe Yaya Jammeh.
Trying to help us understand Yaya Jammeh.
Ulakolako karambe mankana kungola nukumanji Yaya Jammeh.
And some of the things that were being done in order to keep him in power.
The Pope kuye numanjone akanen kanyo pour manujuk mango na alla ko de junkute.
But of course, you would realize, Mr. Witness, or you would agree with me, that during the early days and throughout his leadership of this country, Yaya Jammeh was very, very sensitive to criticism, especially criticism in the press.
Bare asida pano urambe no musong matiko Yaya Jammeh kala ka kana la komitati di mufam tu ala kenda ka ana numanjone ammangut man an arreg makojiye jongen di karayola surtout ringno jadi kana kanu manjone koku safere mi manku sen kibara.
That's true.
Yo malegen.
Any criticism of government or Yaya Jammeh himself or any question about government activities would be met with very severe reaction from Yaya Jammeh, correct?
Na pia no sana ateblomi wafa numanjone sumut Yaya Jammeh wala dikan wafa numanjone jongen beka katuku ya mansakunda yola kane kan wafa numanjone Yaya Jammeh mangeritu.
That's true.
Yo malegen.
And in violation of the laws of this country, Yaya Jammeh would attack journalists, attack newspaper houses, attack radio stations because they criticized him.
Di ujikerja kakajana kati luwaeti mofameti Gambi Yaya Jammeh na allo melom kanumanjone koko miko journalistak dip ko kati newspaper radio babu tu kanumanjone koko jummidi fulimeta fadi kibarai mante mo bang.
That's true.
Yo malegen.
And you are very much aware of institutions, media houses that he attacked. I can't tell you off the cuff, Radio 1 FM,
Ban Babaj Pop,
owned by George Christensen.
Babaj Pop, si kulimet kati kibara kanumanjone allow me lom ban Pop Babaj erajo ya numanjone na remen yo yati Radio 1 ya arungumi yo karese no George Christensen.
Yes.
You would agree that the security forces under his command and control attack Radio 1 FM and set it on fire.
Panusong Pop matiko kana kanumanjone koku kanta eromi koku jomi kulum erajo yankurage mi Radio 1 manku remen yo.
That's true.
Yo po malegen.
And at the level of the NIA, you were all aware that this was an operation by the security forces.
Dipo fujuma fati NIA au numanje matiko uru kankan wafa numanjone kana kati burunga be fulimata fe katanka koko kame mam.
That's true.
Yo po malegen.
Was this discussed at the NIA?
Mante uru kanka wafa numanjone umiki miktatu NIA?
Not to my knowledge.
Manjutude.
But how did you come to know that this was done by the security forces?
Bare bunu kane mu manje matiko kamedi fulimata fe epoete bukana koko kame mam.
There was a day when Ahmad Ba, the MP for Salom, raised that topic in Parliament.
That fan MP a député pour le mi Salom.
And one officer by the name of Sana Manjang was burnt in the hand during that exercise. And he was staying at Major Bajinka's house at mile 7. That's how I know about it, but I don't know with whom. But Amadba raised it in Parliament.
Ye mom ni manjor meno kuyo no ne bajo mi bare. Manjot ay ma akane de bare Amadoba wangalo frima be di Parliament.
Mr. Witness, you have a very good memory for events and details.
I'm trying to recollect what I had. No problem.
You have no problem recollecting.
It depends.
And you recall that during those times, a number of journalists were attacked.
Mante pungo nuwolo matiko jamana ekilai. Kanuman jone koko di fulimeta fe eseneti kibarai. Kamenge kulo umilom.
Yes.
And this was known to the NIA that this is what the government was doing.
Ban udupop kanka wafa numan jone NIA kuma manju matiko mansa yokola kaikar.
I will tell you one incident that I was aware of. I think it was during the July 22nd celebration. There was an officer who was distributing some pamphlets at the I-22.
Pamphlet.
And they thought what is in the pamphlet is not in the interest of government and Yaya Jammeh, so he was picked from there to the agency. I can't remember the name of the journalist. Can't remember, it was a long time.
And what happened to him?
He was detained at the NIA.
Was he beaten?
He was not beaten. But he was warned, because that time the torture was very minimal. He was warned not to do such a thing in front of the executive.
You said at this time torture was very minimal.
Yes.
But you implying that it still used to happen.
Yes, it used to, because when you asked me, I told you yes, it was happening, but that was within. NIA personnel, not even a military or a police officer.
No, do the police, military.
In fact, you was telling us that those days it was the NIA officers themselves who were doing the torture. That's
true.
And who in the NIA were doing the torturing at that time?
I cannot tell you precisely, but because if you are facing the investigators, whatever happened there, I don't know. But some people were beaten. You can only know it. When they are released, sometimes they are beaten and they are released, so you'll see it in the marks in their bodies.
But Mr. Witness, during this time, you are the liaison officer between the NIA and State House. There was hardly anybody in the NIA who knew more than you. You knew fully well that your colleagues were torturing Gambians.
Each and every one of us has a role to play. And your role, if it has nothing to do with those type of activities, you wouldn't know, because NIA is a need-to-know basis sometimes.
But Mr. Witness, you had every reason to know. Your responsibility was to convey information back and forth between the NIA and State House.
NIA.
So knowing what was going on was your business.
So uji kerjat manje wanu manjone wo la kome kabajak wo kankan bro kabia.
So you would know what was happening as a matter of course, as a matter of routine.
Tonya foku manje rek wanu manjone wo la kome kabajak.
If I want to know anything, I will ask my DG, who is my immediate boss, not junior officers.
Imanja be manje wano sang.
But
your
DG knew that people who were against the government, who were brought to the NIA, were being tortured.
Bare adiji apo amman matiko kana kanu manjone kuri bort di mansa wata ekle kutabli jabe NIA kunagainak.
Yes, but if you ask and he said, well, it is not your business, so keep quiet. There is nothing. There is no further you can go. You just stop there.
But at this time, you knew the people who were doing the torturing. You knew who were the chief torturers of the
NIA.
I don't know. I only know investigators, whether they were doing it at their own level, I don't know. But anything I want to know, I ask my DG.
And did you discuss with your DG who was doing the torturing?
There was a day a lady was arrested by giving false information about a coup.
Name of the lady?
I can't remember the lady. And when I entered the reception, I heard cries. Then I went up, I said, DG, who is crying there? What's the problem? He said, he is facing Daba Marina and others.
She or he?
She is facing Daba Marina and others. I said, what for? He said, the lady gave us false information about an attempted coup, which was not true. I told him, but that doesn't warrant for such He told me, my friend, if you have anything to do, just go. I left.
And who are the people Daba Marina used to work with at the time?
Daba Marina is in charge of counter-espionage. They work hand in glove with investigators.
And who were those at the time?
Baba was one of them.
Baba who?
Baba Saho. Ode Bari. People like Jim Drame. But Jim Drame was at the training school. He do the training for the new intakes. Sometimes he participated in the operations.
You worked there at the time. You worked there at the time. Can you tell us with a reasonable degree of certainty who were the other people apart from Daba Marina who were involved in this torture?
Council, let me tell you, you see, investigators, there are many.
We are talking about those who used to work with Daba Marina at the time.
So, those that were doing the torture, I cannot tell you precisely, honestly, because I was not part of it. Sometimes I don't even go even near where those operations are taking place. It's not my role.
the witnesses who testified here about the tortures that occurred at the NIA premises in 1996 and 97 implicate generally the following people: Fode Bari, Baba Saho, Salmina Drame, Daba Marena. Would you say that this is true or false?
Bukana kusere kanumanjone kusensentate sede yoli di komisionai. Kanumanjone kuteki tek bang pop kutora itora dodi NIA kusensen ures mati kakile ko dodi kannagimi kon Daba Marena kan sulai Fode Bari
Baba
Sao
Salmina
Drame Mante Maligan.
It could be true because all these people were from the police. Baba was from the police. Fode Bari was also from the police, transferred to the NIA. So whatever happened, Fode was a shadow officer at the police before he came to the NIA. Baba Marena was also a special branch officer in the police before he joined the NSS. Now called
Baba Sao police in Lake, the Flimita Kanku Kanakanku Frame, Manku Kambroka, Mamora, Mujoeno, Bikiting NIA.
But what is the basis of your answer? Is it the suggestion that these people are just from the police and therefore they were torturers?
Yeah, tenu jube ne Kujabi akia. Berek matiko bukana matiko police kupurumlo ye kane manya kutek bukanak mante.
That's why I said it could be true, since the witness has said it, but I was not part of it.
Are you suggesting that you were at the NIA, you knew these tortures were going on, you knew that Daba Marena was involved because of the fact that he was running the counter espionage at the unit at the time, but you cannot tell us who else was involved? That's what you want to tell us?
Numa mambere gali matiko au nula kolako buroka be NIA numa manj matiko Daba Marena matiko owa rungume buku numa manj matiko o do butumo do bare umanjut ake anu manjone ateke tek bukana.
CE is like 25-30 meters from the reception, so if you don't go there, you don't even know what's happening. Very big place, they have so many officers. Unless you go there and know what is going on. And if you don't go there, you cannot sit and speculate that Mr. XY said. And also the investigation is on the other side of the building, where it's about maybe 10-15 meters away from the main building. If you don't go there, you don't know what's going on. Banku kane mi banku ngase mu wa abaje mi pop bompo mom bopo lulu to ngono lakota non lakomi non mu none mo manji wa mbe ba e jaay di officer to woko.
Mr. Witness, you had to be occasionally taking this information to State House.
Bare asida awati be wati no waru ngar kiba yu be State House.
True?
Maligan.
Yes.
Yo Maligan.
And the information that you submit had to be detailed and complete, correct?
Wanu manjone waru teb be State House war kan wa fa nu manjone u jongen ban po war kan wa fa nu manjone waringe.
Yes.
Yo Maligan.
And for the information to be complete, you need to know who is apprehended, correct?
Bar kibara nu war mo ngar pumbe ring waru manje an ko sofmi.
Not necessarily. But of course, you had to know who was arrested for your information to be complete. You cannot go to Jaya Jame and say, oh, somebody was arrested. You don't even know whether the person is a man or a woman. And you don't know what the person was arrested for. And you don't know the information provided by the person. You know, if you do that, Jame would call you a fool and send you out of his office.
If I go to Jame, what I will tell him is from what my DG told me. If he wants to clear anything or he has doubt of what I told him, he calls the DG directly.
And the information would include the names and status of those people arrested?
ban kibara po pe panam do karesa keti anaw di po place na
sometimes in a written form, put in an envelope, and then I hand over the envelope.
Yake ko ngibaka safel bandi kandi envelope banya ni ringi ni seno.
Sometimes the full details of the person.
Sometimes he will tell me, if tell the president that this and this and this is what is happening here.
I'll
give you one example. During the transition, when Algali Commission was formed, my DG was called at State House. That Yaya Jammeh said you should arrest all the businessmen who are involved, who are supposed to appear before Jammeh Commission, Algali Commission. If you arrest them and bring them to the office, then we serve them with subpoenas. Some came, he was very worried. And he called me, he explained everything. I said, no. I said, if that is what the president wants, it cannot work. He said, it was Letsu who...
Samuel.
Letsu. Who told the president how they want these people to receive their subpoenas. I said, no. Allow me to go to the president and talk to him and come back to you. Don't call anybody until I come back. I went to the president, told him, look, the DG told me that you asked us to arrest certain businessmen. He said it was Lesu and Musa Mbub, the Attorney General, who suggested that. Musa Mbub, the Attorney General.
Attorney General? Inspector General of Police?
No. Musa, is it Musa Biti?
Musa Biti.
Yes. Then I said, no. These are prominent businessmen. Just to serve them with a subpoena to appear before Algali Commission doesn't warrant any arrest. I told DG not to do it. He said, okay, go ahead.
You continue.
Tell your DG to stop it.
You would agree with me that the NIA had no business arresting anybody at that time with regards to this particular issue.
Uri board dinjambati ko wata ikila NIA ku budget hani haji be ejobe esof an.
But these are the instructions given to my DG from the president.
The president did not care about the law.
Yes. So I had to
answer that question. The president did not care about the law.
Yes.
That is true.
And we were talking about the tortures. The information you would submit to the president include who these people are, why they were arrested for, the information they have provided, and how that information was obtained.
Mati kibara ngarembe baba president now. If it
is on a written form, I will not know what is the contents of the I will only hand over. And then the rest is between the president and the DG.
But how about where you have to give oral reporting?
Most of my oral briefings have nothing to do with certain activities.
Mr. Witness, you told us that Yaya Jammeh knew about the tortures.
Yeah.
And his channel of communication was the Director General and yourself.
Ban man nga ayabe mi kibara ye mi au di a Director General.
And both of you were submitting information to him about suspects investigations that have been carried out.
Ban me ko gabara gila kala kay seno kibara di kubeti kanjumanjone gisof waf ko kane di pop kis renji la ko me kane ngese.
When an investigation took place, what they normally do is they write a report and submit it to the DG, the investigators. And DG will look at the report, produce a paper, seal it in an envelope, and sometimes I take it to the president or he take it to the president and brief him. What is it? And in the process, the president would know about those who are tortured and those who are not. That's
Could you answer now?
That's true.
He would have knowledge about those who are tortured.
Oh, yes.
And how would he react in these circumstances?
Well,
that is between him and the DG.
Is he sometimes happy about these things, about these tortures?
He will tell the DG sometimes, teach him a lesson. What type of lesson, I don't know. But that is the information. Teach him a lesson. DG has to take him to school and teach him a lesson. Teach him a lesson.
But of course, you all knew what that meant. Teach him a lesson, give him a VIP treatment. All of you knew what that meant.
It is up to DG to analyze it and tell the operatives what to do.
Okay, what used to happen in those instances?
DG maybe will DG sometimes tell the operatives, I have an information, the president said teach him a lesson, or don't do it. Because Yaya is somebody who is short-tempered for a short period. And sometimes if you leave the state before you reach the office, he will call you and say, stop it, cancel the exercise.
What exercise?
He has told you to take the personal lesson. He will call and say, stop it.
Just give us example.
Well, it's a long time. I can't remember most of the things. But Sambhawa will come and say, okay, release the detainee to go because the president said allow him to go. Sometimes he does that.
But how about the lessons?
No, he will stop everything. Before he reach, he will call him and say, stop it. Stop the lesson and then release him.
But many people... many people were in fact taught a lesson.
Oh yes.
And in all truthfulness, those lessons meant give the person some beating.
Beatings.
So,
yes.
So whenever President Jammeh said teach the person a lesson, all of you understood that to mean what?
So then President Jammeh arrege jikarandi anaumu miutu jimamanji wanaragme.
All the operatives. I'm not an operative, so you say all of you,
all NIA officers understood him to mean what?
NIA officers too.
Punish the detainee.
Take.
And what would that punishment entail? Would it be infliction of pain?
They beat the person.
So in essence, Yaya Jammeh used to order directly the torture of some of these people.
Wato pirek matiko Yaya Jammeh asine sen furima purman be kunak bukana ko man ko tajiri.
Yo malegende.
Can you give us some examples?
Mante ngono regoli mankane men.
Yaya will never accept any blame, whatever. He can give you an instructions.
One corner or
you act on that instruction. If he comes to know that the instructions were wrong, he will call the person, make friends with him, and tell the person that, you know, I don't go anywhere. I was told by Mr. Fall that you are this and this and this. That doesn't take blame.
Are you saying he was a liar? Yaya Jammeh?
Well, it depends on what, it depends, but he will tell you that I believe the person, he told me this against you, now I know he's not true, he's not telling me the truth. Then he will try to reconcile with you, and then you will see that person as your enemy. It happened to so many of us.
And in those instances, was he telling the truth?
He was, because the person who went there told him a lie about you. He will mention the name of the person. So that means he is trying to clean up himself because of Mr. X.
Would you agree that would you agree that in these instances he would be trying to clean himself, as you said, by lying about the true state of affairs?
No.
It would be half-truths.
He is not lying. He is telling what he had from an individual. So that means not lying.
But he would not have told the person that I ordered your torture.
Of course. If you call you for reconciliation, he will tell you it's because of this and this that happened to you. It was Mr. X who told me this.
But he would not tell you that he ordered the torture.
But if you tell the person that X told me that you are this and that's why you suffer, that means he's telling you that he has given a wrong order.
But tell us honestly, you are on the oath.
Yes.
Was Yaya Jammeh a truthful person?
My way of understanding.
No, was Yaya Jammeh a truthful person? Were the things he was saying generally true? Is he a person who would say you would say is a very honest person? The records are there for us to judge. So tell us the truth.
I don't want to tell you what I don't even know of him. Whether he is a truthful person or not, it's not for me to tell. What I know is,
you are Deputy Director General, Director General, and Commissioner. You know whether Yaya Jammeh was a truthful person. You know whether Yaya Jammeh was a truthful person. Answer the question. Tell the Commission truthfully whether Yaya Jammeh was a truthful person.
No, truthfulness is very vague. You can say this true, this is wrong. So if you want to generalize,
seem to be dodging the question.
No, if you want to generalize whether the man is truthful or not, I will say yes and then say no.
Okay, give us examples of instances where he was not truthful.
If you sit with Yaya Jammeh, you try to show him what you can, he will tell you something that you know that the man is not telling me the truth.
We heard about the dragon at the Caravan Bridge.
I don't know about order, but what I do know is I will look at this tree and tell you what it entails, which is not true.
Would he do that often?
Not often. That is when he is in a good mood, you sit and chat with him. You say, look at this. Do you know what is it? You tell him, and he said, no, it's this and this. Which is not true. You can look at a tree and tell what it entails or what is there. Take it as a joke.
What was his reason for doing that? Would you say it was just to self-aggrandize, to put himself above everybody else?
He wants you to know that any knowledge you have, his knowledge is more than yours.
He was superior to everybody else.
Is it?
Just like he had the cure for everything.
The cure started when we were all away from him. It was not during our time,
but it was all part of the same thing. Make you believe that he is superior, he is big.
That's true, that's true.
Please, do you want to hear the answers?
That is true.
That's right. It was all a lie.
It depends.
It was all a lie.
As I know, I cannot judge that because he knows better why he is doing that. So, for me, I will only say what I know.
Mr. Witness, we know why he was doing it. You have told us. You said he was doing all that because he wanted to be seen as superior, having superior knowledge to everybody else.
Now, the people he was treating, according to what we had, should be in a position to tell whether the treatment works or not. But not me or any of my family.
All the witnesses we heard from said that it was a lie. Except Dr. Mbo.
It is possible.
But you even know it was a lie.
Yaya started this sometimes around 2005-06 when we were away from him.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't know where he got that knowledge or how he does about it. I don't know.
2005,
but you would agree that it was part of the same system of making people believe things that are simply unbelievable, things that are just not true.
That's true. That's true.
He was a liar, pretty much, essentially.
If we all agree with the people he was treating that he's a liar, then he's a liar. But it's not for me to tell because I've never go for treatment or whatever, or any of my family to confirm to me that what this man has told me is a lie. So I cannot say that.
You are talking over each other, so you have to wait and hear the interpretation.
Sorry. Let him interpret. Let I interpret, and I will repeat what I said.
Okay. Could you repeat what you said first?
I said those he was treating, and all of us here, if we agree that he's lying on those things he thought he knew, then we all agree that he's a liar. But it's not for me to tell as an individual that he's a liar, because I've never applied any of his medicine, so I wouldn't know.
Nene comme bukana kana sontemi di ala diri ala tuja moraja murega mateko yaya gajora nani ha yo melegen ala puja mora murega mat yaya jam gajora bare inji leti ngeti merege parce que nge musre joy sonten wala ni jo mi je natu do ka sonten sako dimbaye mum wanko rek mo wo ala tum ka jamora murega mat yaya gajora di ka sonten akola.
Mr. Witness, we're just putting to you the propositions. It's not our personal view or anything. We're just putting to you the propositions because you know him better, you dealt with him, so that you can answer the questions to help the commission better understand who this person was.
I said, "Oli kaise ni dorong burung abdi wantomi wanu manjoni wo regmi. Oli umatu tu banu umanju tu bare au ungo nu regoli pour mu manji."
Has he ever told you things that are not true?
That's
the example I gave you. And when I was with him, he has never mentioned me his knowledge of curing this or curing that. Because I know if you tell me, I will ask him how. How are you going to cure? All these things were happening when he knew that somebody who really challenges me is no longer with me. So I can do whatever I like.
You said he would do anything he liked. Would you say including lying to the Gambian people with reckless abandon?
Yes.
No one sumo mi wana kanemi. Mante ngono rek matiko urupop rodo kagajorak ereget wafa no manjore kant malegen ko Gambian.
Yes.
Yes.
You said it. He lied to the Gambian people with reckless abandon. That's your testimony, Mr. Witness.
Awregede none nagajo gajor arregul ko Gambian wafa no manje malegen bamutumo balet.
I'm answering your question.
And you said yes.
Of what I know about Yaya Jammeh, that's what I'm telling you. So it is not my suggestion that Yaya is lying. It is true. The people he claimed to be treating who said he's a liar. And I also believe he's a liar. None of my family went to him or myself to confirm that the man is lying or is true. No.
Malegende bukana kana sonte me ko kureketata man ko ne mona sonte nya mana na sonte ne sonne ka gajo bar kanti ngege be wala dimba e bona na ko na gebe bo mamba sonte ni wala ko kuregemate ko na kammi malegen wala kantu malegen.
To conclude this point, you just told us that you believe that he is a liar.
Pour manu ubana elobeye woto aw nu ureregmate ko nu sonsong mate ko agajora.
Yes.
Ni ni sonsong.
Thank you very much. You became Deputy Director General.
No Ujojo can Director General, Deputy Director General.
In 2002.
Emitted 2002.
Correct?
Yes.
And this happened at a time where there were lots of detentions that were unlawful.
Banudu bajo bajo wate manjone kusoso bukan kamenge ban esofeli jawti di burum.
I can't remember anybody being arrested, detained during that time.
We have extracted the detention register.
The
list of people who were unlawfully detained. At this time, what was the maximum limit for detention before the person must be taken before a judge?
Not more than 72 hours.
I have placed before you a list of people who were detained during your time as Deputy Director General.
Deputy Director General.
And these detentions were all unlawful? If you look at 2002, you have a list of about 65 people.
Kaita kati 2002 puju kan kono kan ku fegi di futok kabanan fegi di futok.
It's possible.
Well, did it happen?
Mante bajo.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
Well, we have extracted this from the detention register.
Urudi kaita kaisen mi kangana kan ku sof mi to
kept by the NIA.
Wanu manjone NIA ko ku nene kaita ko bon tablom.
Look at the names. Possibly you would recognize some of them. The first name on that list is Mr. Lamin Sane. Do you recognize that name?
If it is Lamin Sane from State Guard, yes.
Kanja Lamin Sane, I'm State Guard.
That was in which year?
Yeah, it says 2002.
2002.
Lamin Sane in State Guard occurred when? Was it 2000 or 2002?
Lamin Sane State Guard. Emit Yema 2002 manted. Emit Yema.
Around 2002, if I can remember.
Correct, 2002 de kanjay wolo.
Was he detained beyond the statutorily allowed limit?
He was not detained at the NIA. He was detained at the military police, and they normally bring him for questioning and taking back. He was not at the NIA.
Babu military police boku sofo kunen manna hikungallo bediru NIA.
Well, the detention register of the NIA said Lamin Sane detained for 8 days at the NIA.
Kaita kastafere man kuisen kana kan kusof mi kuise se matiko Lamin Sane mu kuna kono futok di ku feg sofo bo NIA.
But the issue here is, do you dispute that during your time as Deputy DG, people were being detained unlawfully at the NIA?
Kuye fangyo tate wanji mamme manje woemi mante au nusonsong matiko watan la komi DGI Deputy DGI NIA mante kana kusofe sof kuneni banjawtu diluwai.
I was not disputing.
It therefore means you will agree that under your authority as Deputy DG and under the authority of the Director General, people were detained in violation of the law at the NIA.
Wato kankan au pusong matiko non la kome erunge nula ko di furungaf mati awami Deputy Director di pop Director iya jila ko la ka sof bu kanak ban report di luwai.
If the DG give instructions, there is nothing I can do about it. Just
while you are prepared to hide behind, I was not completely in charge, let's look at what happened when you were fully in charge.
Komka nanulla ko to me erunge fang yaw babaj anuribe. Awmbo kabalang monone babaj anuribe o wasenem furimaf. Nyaaw jikera nan aw fangom ulla ko me erunge.
That was in
2003.
August 2003 to December 2003.
Yo kankan immediate 2003
look at the list.
December 2003.
There were about some 20-something people who were also detained unlawfully.
2003 kan kano kabanan di waf kopo ku sofi sof ban jawtu duluwai.
Have you seen it?
Juju kubang.
Would you take responsibility for those illegal detentions?
Well,
these people were detained well before I became DG.
Have you ever protested these illegal detentions?
This was during the late Kebasi's time.
Have you ever queried these illegal detentions?
No. No.
You went along with them?
Yes.
So therefore you are equally culpable, you are equally responsible.
Woto panene au po mi jondomi.
I will say yes because I cannot disobey my director.
No, it is not about disobeying your director. This is about all of you senior officers being responsible for this system at the NIA wherein people would be unlawfully detained.
Kant matiko kabalang furim afati arungimi bara kankan wafa numanjon mi janu manjon mi jurungumi NIA wanjila kame kane ban ribut.
Yes.
Do you regret it?
Mante kanka wafa numanjone kani kan wafat elambulumuk.
I regretted everything that happened to that agency since I was employed there. Not only this case, because that was why if I am not happy with the system, I had to see a way to stop it. That was why you see that none of the detainees will ever tell you that Mr. Kujabi was part of this, was part of that. And I saved a lot of people here from all these problems.
Give us examples.
I went to Taiwan on a mission. 3 technicians from Gamtel were arrested.
What are their names?
I don't even know them. But the reason given was there was no telephone for a whole day. When they were asked, they said the parts they were supposed to change, they did not change until everything blown off. I was in Taiwan. Every day I will call the office and talk to my deputy. Who is the late Seni Suso. And he told me the problem at Gamtel. I told him, now go and look for one of those technicians and ask him whether they've made a requisition for those parts. And if he said yes, try and get that requisition and photocopy it and keep it for me until I come. And I called him the following day. He said, yes, I have got the requisition. I told him, now I'm coming this date. Let us meet at the airport. Immediately I arrived. When I arrived at the airport, he gave me the requisition. From the airport, I called President Jammeh. I told him I'm back, I'm at the airport, soon I will be at home. And I asked him, what is new in this country? And he said, this time, I am with Gamtel. What happened? He said, you see these technicians, telephone went off the whole day. I told him, are you sure that this is the fault of the technicians? And he said, how do you know that? I said, yes, I know it's not their fault. The technicians are not given tools to work. How can they work?
No, me ku technician ku senti si bagasa mambe ku rok nya bu ko to me roke.
I told him, in fact, I'm going to my house. I will pack my baggage and come to the state house.
Nya ni no mi ni jukan yo tane nya njombe jo be sinde moy pack si bagasa sumbo pibil mu ju ko
That was around 7 o'clock in the evening.
Kankan watati 7 sa fitire.
When I went,
Nya ni jomi.
he said, yes, tell me, what do you want? I took out the requisition, I showed it to him. These technicians have wrote a request to the MD. But the MD said he's not going to approve it until he goes to South Africa and come back.
But MD approve and you mante approve and you mante kalenu.
So if the equipment got blown in the absence of the MD, what do you expect the technicians to do?
Yeah, si bagasa si blow nya di bulan kabate MD nya bu no to mekane bu eto mekane.
He said, hey, you are right.
Na mi ha ni konko.
He called Aissatou Sidi.
Asked
her to release those people immediately and let them go back to home. And tomorrow he will deal with the MD. I gave him the requisition and went home. And after a long period, I met up with one of them. He said, do you know me? I said, no, I don't know. He said, I am the one who was working for Gamtel technician and I was arrested. I don't know you.
I don't
want people to be taking advantage on others.
Well, all that may very well be true. But during your time too, illegal detentions used to happen.
When I was DG, every morning if I reach the office, my first point of call would be at the investigation. If I meet anybody sitting there, what I do is I ask the person, not the officer, what are you doing here? Somebody brought me here because I owe him money. Told him, take your things and leave the office. And then I advised the officer in charge. Every day I would do that. It's not a collection center, it's not a police. Even the police, civil matters don't go to the police, let alone NI.
But did it stop?
During my time here, it stops.
Well, it's quite obvious that during your time as Deputy DG and DG, there were still illegal detentions going on.
He says matiko nanula komi erunge nanula komi deputy DG nanula komi DG too kula ke so fe bakanak ban kant di buro.
Unless if it happens and I was not aware. Sometimes if I travel and such things happen, you know, I wouldn't know. Before I come back, those people are released. So I wouldn't know. But while I am here, anybody you bring, you must tell me why. Otherwise, you'll join him. All the officers know that. All the officers at the agency knows that I'm not going to condone such things. But when I left the office, when I was arrested,
do you realize that the part of the book dealing with the period where your Director General disappeared?
Mantenu ulolo ujujuk matiko.
I don't know.
Kaita kaken mi waita waken mi au nanula kome erungay. Wabajo mi do NIA too. Mantangu man matiko kuyema yemang.
I don't know. Even myself, when I was arrested, you know what happened? Guys arrested me and asked me, what have I done? I said, well, even if I kill somebody, you think I'll come here and tell you I killed somebody? You arresting me, must tell me what have I done? Why I'm here?
Yeah, but king ni wa kan man ko sofi. No, awa sofi min jawara murig ni wani kan anni buje. Afan wara regomante ko ana no buje mo kam ni sofi. Bara sofa men no la ñu legi be king wa kan ko sofi.
We are coming to your arrest immediately. That was the next topic to look into. But was this normal that people would be arrested and the reason for their arrest is not even known to those who conducted the arrest?
It is not normal.
Was it occurring frequently?
Not always, but it used to happen.
How many times were you arrested?
3 times. 3 times.
And can you tell us the times you were arrested? Give us details of each incident.
My first arrest was in May 2004.
So fembo me folai kankan na fulenga fatime de mitete 2004.
I went to work at Birkama. I closed.
Perhaps maybe we should start from your sacking at the NIA.
I was redeployed with immediate effect.
What happened?
And I reported at Birkama.
Tell us what happened. What precipitated your redeployment?
What happened was, I was in London. I was sitting with the High Commissioner, Mr. Jibril Joub, in his office.
The High Commissioner,
Then the then DPP, Ajim, called.
I
have a roaming, wherever you call me, get me. He told me, where are you? I said, well, I'm not in the Gambia. Then he said, well, I wanted us to discuss about Baba Job's case. But I don't know how will Yaya take it up. I told him, DPP.
DPP.
You are the legal advisor of the president.
How come me on who
Secondly, it is the ports that have a problem with Baba Job, not Yaya Jammeh. So if you said you don't want to go to court with Baba Job, go and discuss with the president. But first of all, call the IG who was then landing 13 Baji.
Follow,
discuss it with him.
IG and landing 13 Baji.
When he called 13 Baji and discussed with him,
Nana call me 13 Baji Marego.
Because it was 13 who arrested Baba Job. Then he mistakenly he told 13 that I've just discussed with Mr. Kujabi and he asked me to see you before we go to the president. Then 13 told him, there is no need, I will go to the president and I'll tell him. When 13 went to the president, I was in UK. He told Yaya Jammeh that on the whole, Abdullah is twisting the DPP's arm not to take Baba Job to court.
How do you know that?
I have an insider in State House who told me.
And
what I responded was, the reason why he is doing that because he thinks he is an NIA director. He is powerful. But I will redeploy him.
Power at the time belonged to Yaya Jammeh, wasn't it?
But he referred that to me.
Answer the question. power at that time belongs to Yaya Jammeh.
Yes, that's true.
So anybody in the system who exercised power that he did not like would be taking as an affront to his own power.
Yeah, man yone ombodi burok di o mu yisen matiko aw nururung aw anakilay o katiken.
That's true.
And therefore he would deal with you.
Pa muyeni. And he dealt with me, honestly.
Tell us how.
I came back from London on Sunday. Yaya came back from the Commonwealth in Nigeria on Monday. On Tuesday, I went to his office to brief him my mission in London. In front of the Secretary General Alungom. And I went back to my office. At night, I went to his house, we sat, we brew attire, we ate some roast meat. I went home. On Wednesday, around between 3 and 4, Dabo Marina came to my office and he said, "Boy, I have a letter for you." Then he produced the redeployment letter. And then he wanted to be nice. I said, no, don't worry. I've seen the letter. Now, I will give you the keys because they say with immediate effect. Hold the key to the office. Tomorrow we meet here. I do my handing over. I said, no, you can keep it till tomorrow. I took my car and the letter, I went to the State House. When I went, I was announced. I entered his office. I met him bending his head down. I told him, sir, I've got this letter now. And it is not from a messenger. Somebody who is supposed to take over from me brought this letter. Are you aware of this? He said, yes, you know, I want you to go to Brikama. I'm having difficulty with my politics. I said, stop there. It is not what happened. Somebody told you something against me. Tell.
He lied to you.
Said, no, don't take it that way.
He lied to you.
Yeah. I said, yes. I told him, between you and me, there is going to be the last day for you to see me, to sit with me eye to eye. I know that. Those people that I tell you against me, you will come to know it later. I said, I'm going. That's what I came to tell you. Then when I reached at my house, called my wife, trying to say, you see, your husband is angry, blah, blah, blah. I told my wife to get away from it. Let him not even interfere. This is between me and Yaya Jammeh.
Did you feel betrayed?
Yeah. Even if he asked me to go back to that place, I will never go back there.
Why did you feel betrayed?
One, the way and manner the letter was brought to me was wrong. I was with him on Tuesday. Up to the night. Nothing, he didn't tell me anything about this development. Just for Marina to bring a letter, me to hand over from him. That's why I felt betrayed.
But that was normal.
It was not normal.
You want to come more.
That's how Yaya Jammeh used to do things.
Other people, yes, but not to me. Not to me.
Do you think that you are also part of the royal family? You deserve a different treatment from everybody else?
Man also of matiko au ula kola ko kanuma njone ku wali yaje me fasim fakon ban awarta kani fasonge na kani mkake.
Yes, I am Yaya's cousin, first cousin for that matter.
And therefore you deserve better treatment compared to...
You would have told me. You would have told me in advance before treating me such a way.
Then at least you are lucky they did not send special operations to come and slap you around and push you around to get you to
that time, nobody dares to touch me.
You are powerful.
You know. Now what happened is, I told him, look, if you ask me to go and clean the streets of Banjul, that will be the
Banjul too. But Kanya wafanamanya punafa isuketi Gambia, Bukanake Gambia, Pijekan. But our brokaboli will be pomponya.
It was not for position, it was blind loyalty.
Kanten be palase bare kamangak kanumanjo na kusos of kilo.
That's true.
Again.
Do you see a problem with that? That our public officers would be blindly loyal to the head of state. The loyalty should be to the constitution and the law of the country. It should be to the state and not the individual.
Mante ujujuk mati kami boraka be mansa kamanga kankum mangmi arungao kusosofu kilali mante ko kariben wan amang mi duko kawan namang mi mangku kajen luwate suke
different from my case.
You do di inje kuembo sinamu de.
And why is that?
Buka mankamo.
I am of the same blood with Yaya Jammeh. If there is anything to go by, I think I owe that respect from him.
And do you see the impropriety, well, I wouldn't say illegality, but the inappropriateness of your appointment in the first place, seeing fully well that you did not have the qualifications to become Director General, and he appointed you to that position simply because you were his cousin, and therefore you just owe him blind loyalty.
Mantenu jujuk ujiker tate wafanu manje akankam ban warte fankan folo yemi na seni sen place na seni murung let matiko aw nu babaji waytaw karang lende ye rindingto bare matiko miji wali batia ye ka ma seni.
Not only that,
and to your cap.
When I was working in the civil service years before Yaya,
I
was not there. Something terrible would have been happening in this country. He had to stop everything because he knew I know the country, I know the people better than him. He has never been a civil servant.
But the point I am trying to make here is this tit for tat compensation of family members. By appointing them to positions that they were not qualified for, in exchange for this blind loyalty.
To the
extent that there is blind loyalty to the political leader, even if it means violating the laws of the country. Do you see a problem with that?
No.
Honey?
Are you serious?
Yes.
And this is what you stood for.
And that fujuma fiya to from me.
And that is why we had unbridled power in this country. That's why we had a dictatorship.
Yeka mu baja semba nu manjone e warte bajo bam pop nu baja waf e arunga nu manjone furuma fola kep fofu jume.
See, Council, with the little experience I have, both in the civil service and in public, I played a very important role by going close to Yaya Jammeh since 1991. Everybody knows about it.
Yes, but we are also concerned about the illegalities and the abuse of power.
Barapo oli tan goro mi toye mi kakajana ket luwai dipo.
Are you happy with the situation?
I am not.
Mante sum.
I am not happy.
But this was abuse of power.
Bara kankan engar wawuje wan semba senemi.
Well, yeah, Jammeh, as I told you, the uniform is down, but the mind is still a military mind. So sometimes you look at him the way you see him and finish with it.
Well, the purpose of the TRRC is to ensure never again that these things would happen in our country. And that's why we're interrogating these things. The fact that people are appointed to positions that they are not qualified for, the fact that people are just bribed with positions because they are family members in order to buy their loyalty, the fact that the laws of this country are not giving, they're honored more in their breach than in their observance.
Bare wakame fagman TRRC yu ye ejumeni ye mi wanuma wafanuma jone ubaje mbajo bal chakutu takum lañu bajo furi ba fan korege mi never again takum lañu bajo benen wajo mi di esenete ano place di wanuma jone londe la eringutu ko ananuma jone juwoli wal nu sano place wala engare place ya mu ubala firia keken.
Sometimes it may not even be family members, but people that are loyal to him, he can give you positions just to strengthen your loyalty with him and your family members or whatever.
And Nike can't mateko and Bukana Kanuma Miko Wogede. But Bukana Numaji Kerhani and Anumanji me cupulo to Tinta Consa, Elupia Consa, but Numango ma, Banakaramben on the Panasani Palace.
Do you find a problem with that?
Big problem.
After you stop benefiting from it, it's now a big problem.
That's why I told you I have been fighting the little I can to stop certain things. If I am enjoying, I would just let things go. Whoever is facing the problem, let him face it. I would say it's not my business, but no.
Anja lemo oto pik bukana kandira mbe mitingo ni rambe ni wala ni joko mwana kane warante kan pane ni kato man ngol akan banni ni hani ta warante kamo.
We have received a lot of evidence here that this pattern continued at the NIA. People were being recruited even though they did not have the qualifications, and they were appointed to positions for which they were not qualified.
Baranu baba tati sere sa jupo e sai sere matiko bokanak koko boka jupo e kanumanyen kungari ngar burokab do NIA londeli eri mutuba nikusani se plazas manku
that is true. The witness who testified, Alamin Dawo, was employed as a security guard. To hear that he is an officer, I was surprised, because it was not many of them are there. Security to officers. Yes.
Don't you see that one of the reasons for the poor performance, consistent, say the underdevelopment of this country is partly because of the fact that this country, we depend on completely unqualified people to lead this country in several respects.
Yes.
I mean the government, the public service.
Mantenu cross matiko fully metafe mansa wakame esukele to bejo fachule ye mi kankungare man kurok ku seneriti broka matiko lendeli eringeto bare kamanjora tika wolora ku kanemi ye kane suke ngoyen tajo facule.
That is true. Because a lot of systems that were happening during the colonial time and the First Republic were not happening now.
Kuela kome jai dire mo famno kabin wata di kububa kudi president nga follow ma kuye kilele boy do nyame.
In those days, you sit for a government entrance, you go to the clerical school for 9 months, you are trained to become a clerical assistant, but nothing is happening now. And
no,
if you are appointed, you go for probation for 3 good months before your appointment is confirmed. This is not happening now.
No, kungari ya broka boko bejo ku karangi e ku manja ku jo kuisini broka mam ko motom ko ekane bikitim ku commencer broka par nyame yo le boy kan.
Now let's go to your first arrest.
Nyambu jabe nan ku sofim butira.
You have been moved from NIA as Director General and then
Birkama as Commissioner.
Kupureni puren tatu NIA nan la komi Director General man.
But even in this appointment, would you agree that it was also a favor to you as a family member?
Hani place en kuseni nyafang mante pu song matiko koba seneri matiko kuma mambe karambeni mati au anati dimbaya.
Even the position of a cleaner, as long as I'm receiving salary, is a favor.
Hani yang kuteba place anu manmi awena yawena para kom ko way cha membo fulenga yo ngipi tik mante ko jajak.
I am sure that you are much more qualified for the position of cleaner.
Set matiko au karange ewu placeti an awena.
Whatever.
But for the position of commissioner.
Baredi placeta commissioner.
Don't you think that was also just a favor to you, considering you are a family member?
Few matiko a place kilai kuseni senyorek mati au kankan anati dimbaya barelet matiko londeya.
But 95% of my predecessors at the commissioner's office, I am far better than them.
Nane bara ujike jab kan mingi dir the commissioner dir rankola kan boraka dir commissioner nge fangi.
Well, that shows how rotten the system was, doesn't it?
Yo system man ekanyo mieno.
Do you agree?
Mantenu sonso.
It depends on who appointed who on what.
We are talking about the president appointing his relatives and friends who he knows are not qualified for those positions to which they are appointed.
Wano mari alagay wenemi a president now. Place na senem kanu manjone ko palo di kan awolor mi banna mamanya matiko kakaranga kwali kuringo to.
True.
Do you think that is right?
If you put the experience behind, it is not right, but sometimes knowledge of what you are doing, dedication, I mean, it's okay.
Well, the reason why you are able to, this is the same answer that Lamin Dabo gave us. And you are here laughing of his appointment as an officer. Well, he was appointed more than an officer. He was appointed officer commanding.
Ban officer officer commander.
So that signals how bad the system was. In your view, should this be corrected for the betterment of this country?
Of course, yes.
So you would agree with me that at minimum, the people who are appointed to positions should and must be qualified to man those positions. Anon manjone ko war ku seno place mu rok di mansa wo waru baj wayta wonu manje uise se matiko aw londo yeri reto.
That is the essence of learning, yes.
And for an institution like the National Intelligence Agency,
National Intelligence Agency,
the importance of these officers meeting the educational requirements is critical.
Kuma fang pour man anuma jone pa rokudo pour man waita wala wati londo erimbo.
You agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Now, for how long did you serve as governor?
Simit sana butum no laka governor.
January, February, March, April, May.
Kabirin January mantebe fulenga fang May.
2 weeks.
Fulenku baki silo kun sigaba.
And then what happened?
Nya na wujmi tawo baje.
I was terminated.
Gujom ko kesorom.
Tell us what happened before you were terminated.
Regoli wa baje jan kesore.
I was arrested by the NIA personnel.
But
the team was led by Major Bajinka, the state guard.
State guard na purlo.
What does that tell you?
Do waregi.
That he is instructed. Arrest me.
And then what happened when you were arrested?
I was taken to the NIA.
Tell me, Mr. Witness, was it really lawful that you were arrested by Major Badinka and taken to the NIA?
Aseda urago mante jojo di luwai ma Major Badinka ajo asofi ma tebe NIA.
I don't know what they were told, but when I came out, I saw a lot of cars, the NIA, and this Bajinka surrounding my house.
Military police, NIA.
Major Badinka was a bodyguard to Yaya Jammeh, wasn't he?
Major Badinka kanka ananumanjone na poye po Yaya Jammeh
kantumo. State guard commander in those days.
Akame state guard commander watakilia.
And his job description was to remain at State House and be close to the president to protect him.
Bamburoka bola mambusen meno yemi mahala kudo State House ma poi a president.
In essence, he had no business interfering with you.
Let me
tell you one interesting thing. Yaya called me in my house line. We spoke. He said, I have not seen you for days. I said, well, I'm busy in trying to set up certain things, blah, blah. When will I say? I said, whenever you are ready, just come. When I put the telephone down, just for Bajinka to know that Abdullah is there, go in. Then Bajinka came in and said, I am asked to come and pick you. I said, I'm just talking to the president. He wants to confirm that I'm here. Let's go.
President abolo be sofini kama president mana wonkanya pour mamba magne njum dire ina kama nyawja.
In essence, you telling the commission that Yaya Jammeh engineered your arrest?
Oh yeah.
Wato ambe ere commission matiko Yaya Jammeh o
yes.
Atamendi arrest ya.
Yes.
And then he called to find out whether you are there in the house.
Banna wonki ma manjmante wata ekla to sindina.
Yes.
And by which time he had already organized for your house to be surrounded. And to ensure that you are indeed nabbed, he sent his personal security to come and pick you up.
I will tell you something also very interesting. When I was taken to the NIA, Marina said, wait, let me talk to the president. He spoke, came, and said, I was told that you are spoiling the president's name in West Coast. But I have to detain you here. He said, okay, no problem. But I want to know, what did I say? That is spoiling the president's name, and where and when. Even though you did not tell me who told you. He said, no, we are not told, but we are told that you are spoiling his name. Okay. Marina was standing, Tatin Baji, the IG was standing, Jeso, the deputy was there, and Abunjai, they were all there. Then they took me to one of the the rooms and they left. I spent the night in NIA. So interestingly, in the morning, when they came, they said they are going to take me to the house. They want to search my house. I said, what precisely do you want from my house? He said, anyway, when we reach, you will know. So when we arrived in the house, the president was looking for something. On the whole, the bag that is containing my jujus is the one they wanted to take.
You had a bag load of them?
I said, open it, you'll know. When he opened it and saw the jujus, he returned it. Yes, we are taking this one along. I said, okay, go ahead. The police officer put the bag on his shoulder. He left my bedroom. My sitting room. He fell down until he nearly fainted. Why was that? I don't know. He said he's not going to take the bag. I said, you take it. I know this is what you came for. It has to go. We went outside. Every driver said the bag is not going to his car. I said, my friend, don't play with me. You are told that Abdullah has so many judges. Go and bring them before he do something wrong. Take it. One driver volunteered. Anyway, I'm just a driver. I said, my friend, nothing will happen to you. And he put the bag in the car. We go back to Band. They went straight to the police. We went to the serious crime. And when Tatin Baji knew I was there, he called the guys and said, take this man back to the NIA. This is not our case. Then they took me back to the NIA.
And the bag?
Then with the bag. They just put the bag at a corner far from me. And then they did not allow anybody to touch it. I spent 2 nights there. Thursday night, Marina sent Ngur Seka to come and release me to take me home. And then he said, sir, about your bag. I said, I did not bring it here. So who brought the bag should take it back. I'm not going to take it. So I went home. My nephew who was working for them.
Working for who?
For the NIA, he's a driver. Marina called him to say, look, take your uncle's bag home because nobody is there to touch it, and you are a relative. Called me. He said, okay, bring my bag back. And he took my bag and brought it home.
And were you told, were you ever given the information you requested about your arrest?
That was what they told me, that you are spoiling the president's name. That was all.
How soon after that were you arrested again?
Then in 2005.
But before you get to that, did you bring the bag of juju with you here today?
Yeah. No.
Well, thank God.
I was about to end the meeting.
I would have shown it to Esa before.
Oh my.
Before you...
I am the problem, isn't it?
So what happened is when that was the day my brother was arraigned before a magistrate court in Birkama.
Which of your brothers?
Jisaja Kujabi.
Jisaja Kujabi.
That was the day he was released on bail. While we were in Birkama, James was called to the NI that they want to see him.
James who? James who?
James
Kujabi, my younger brother.
James Kujabi
Now in the US. He was detained there.
US.
And Ansuman, when we came with my brother to his house,
Pakistan,
the NIA and the police went for Ansumana.
NIA, the police, no
my brother.
Ansumana, or Popatio.
The wife called while we were sitting in my brother's house.
The
police are here for you.
And police are cocky.
He went. He was arrested and taken to mobile police.
So easy. James Kujabi, your brother, arrested and taken to the NIA.
James Kujabi ati kusafos of Kutebobe NIA.
And Ansumana Kujabi arrested and taken to?
He spent the night in the mobile police.
Mobile police.
Following morning, he was transferred to Sarengai.
Sarengai.
Then that day, the following day, at night, they came for me. All the police and the NIA, they said I'm under arrest.
Police, they
said they are taking me to the NIA. When we arrived at mile 2, I saw them coughing inside mile 2. And the gate of the mile 2 was open. The vehicle entered. They asked me to come down. I said no. This is not the NI you told me that you are taking me to. I'm not going to stop. And all the NI officers went out of the vehicle using telephone calls all over. I was sitting quietly looking at them. 1 hour, they did not come back. One prison officer by the name of Musa Keta, he was a PO.
Prison officer.
He was on duty that day. Said, sir, you know why? These people, even if you spend the night here, they will never go back or take you to the NI. They will spend the night with you in the car. They will not go out again. They told me that we are going to the NI. It is not there. I wanted to confirm that what they told me is a lie. And I went down. And they took their vehicle off.
Was there any paperwork done to admit you into the prison?
A small sheet of paper that the prisons normally sign, fill and sign. The officers a copy and they retain a copy.
Was there any legal authority given to the prison for your detention?
Mante babaj kayit ko manyu ko purlo pour di loi isene mati ko war ko sofi bo in a prison.
Nothing as such.
Budget.
So for how long were you detained at the prison?
Be wati bu ko sofi bo. 2 months, 1 week.
In the meantime, what happened to Jasaja?
Jasaja was arrested again while he was in his farm in Dobong. By the NIA personnel. They brought him to the NIA where he was detained. But his wife normally takes lunch to him. One day, he took lunch, and he was told that your husband was released last night. He called me. I told him to wait for me at the gate of the NI. I'm coming. When I went, I met the security guards there. I told them, look in your register and tell me what time my brother was released here. It was 12 midnight. And I called Marina. I said, Marina, with all the years we spent together here, nobody has ever been released after 7 o'clock in the morning. And I understand that Jasaja was released at 12 midnight. And when you called the security to release him, there was a tinted vehicle standing at the gate with no number plate. What
does that signify?
I told him, what does that mean? He said, well, those are the people that is taking him to Fonyi. I told him, but your guards, your security guards asked those people, but they did not want to talk. So is this normal? He said, well, I'm only acting on the instructions. Okay.
From who?
I don't know. He didn't tell me. I said, anyway.
But from who could the instructions have come from?
From President Jammeh, of course. From President Jammeh, sorry. Then I told him, look, a day will come when you will remember what I am telling you today. Yaya will never believe you until he forget Abdoulie Kujabi. Let me tell you this. We are related, but you are just a co-worker, a mere worker. When he is ready with you, you will know what it means.
Were you predicting his ultimate end with Yaya Jammeh?
Oh, yes.
What did you expect would happen to him?
I know if he did not sack him and arrested, he will be a victim like others.
Were you wrong?
I was not wrong. When I met Marina in Mile 2 when I was arrested, third time.
Let's stick with the Jasaja issue for now. And did you see Jasaja again?
Up to today, I have not seen or heard anything about him. Until those soldiers who were testifying here, that's how we knew. And
what did you learn from those soldiers who testified?
They said it was Sanamanjang who took Yaya Jammeh from NI and killed him.
Who took who?
Isaja. From NI and killed him. Then the family gathered and we bought some color and make charity for him and forget about it.
And how did you feel when you heard this information?
Isaja is from the same mother and father with me. That is why, because of the commission, that's why I'm talking, but I don't even talk about him anymore. People that did this are not in town. That is why it is difficult for somebody to talk. But if they are here, before you people call me here, I would have done something terrible than whatever people expected.
Like what?
Kill them like they killed my brothers. That's all. So-called forgiveness, I mean, it's an insult. Somebody kill your parents and come here and say, I did it, I'm seeking for forgiveness. What does that mean?
But you had an experience with Sana Manjang. You know definitely that this was not Sanya Manjang acting alone. He was acting under instructions.
When I was released, when I was released from prison, I went to Dakar and came back after 3 years. I met with Sana Manjang in Kamfenda. He did not recognize me. And I told him, Sana, do you know me? He said, no. I said, I want you to go into my car. We go, we take a road to Kanila. I want to explain something for you. One of the officers, he came, told him, this is Abdoulie Kujabi. If you go, you are dead. He refused. I told him, you and I, from here till end of the world, wherever I meet you, know that, be ready. Either you or me, one of us will die. I told him.
But you heard from the soldiers that they took instructions from Yaya Jammeh.
Even if they take instructions from God, what they were doing it on their own. Because one, how can you take alcohol, mix all the 3 strong alcohol and drink just to feel nothing against anybody? If they take you from mile 2, just to face the panel, they will maltreat you down, torture you.
But we would come to that.
Well.
We would come to that. All of you people are basically the same. Because all of you, by reason of your blind loyalty to Yaya Jammeh, whether you took drugs or not, you were all doing what he wanted.
Kankanen miu kamanga kanjimang mi Yaya Jammeh kasof mu yegito li kilalu. Hani ungangar waf, ungangar droke uran wala ukantu waf, ulakola ke kawo numanjene jongo duluwai.
Of course, to varying degrees.
Kantu waf wakon, waf kang fama usangari ya baratu makona.
Some were doing the killing.
Buka kulakola ke bujay.
Some were doing the illegal detentions. Some were doing the tortures. Some were doing the forcible evictions. All these people did because of their blind loyalty to Yaya Jammeh. Knowing fully well that what they were doing was unlawful. That's true, isn't it?
Let us all pray for the existence of this TRRC. If it was not for the TRRC, some of the people are talking today, they will never see an eye to talk.
Well, we are happy that you are praising the TRRC.
It's true.
We are all after the truth for the Gambian people to know what has happened.
It is only the TRRC where somebody is bold enough to stand and say, I killed Mr. X, and then I'm asking for forgiveness. It is
You would agree that those people who killed your brother killed your brother on the instructions and the authority of Yaya Jammeh.
Bare ponu song matiko bukana kanu manjon ko ku bujuma ati ku buja ti matiko Yaya maseni furi mafia ka manko kamam.
It's true because they said it was sent. They were sent by Jammeh. So
and how do you feel? We know you said if Sana Manjang was here, you would retaliate, you would kill him. What do you say about Yaya Jammeh?
Banura rek mati ko nen kanle Sana Manjang o mentate jat pour so folo buj. Nya Yaya Jammeh dum.
You see, Council, what I'm praying for is
just answer the question.
Now I'm coming. What I'm praying for is for all these people to come back to this country. Then we will know who is going to another or no. But now that they are not here, we said, I've forgiven them.
But would you forgive Yaya Jammeh if he were to ask for forgiveness?
If it warranted, yes.
How about Sana?
Same thing applies. If he thinks what he did, not only for my brother, but for me myself.
And I know James is in the US. Nothing happened to him.
James US
he was detained.
Yes, that's what I'm coming to. Do you know whether he was tortured?
He was not tortured.
How about
Ansumana?
Only psychological torture. Imagine from here to Sarangai, 25 kilometers from Basel. Nobody. That alone is torture.
And where is Ansumana now?
Ansumana, we just spoke this morning.
And during that detention, did anything happen to you? This is your second detention.
Nothing happened to me.
But you were there for over 2 months. During that period, were you allowed to see a lawyer?
Not even my family, let alone a lawyer.
And you know that was a violation of your rights.
Oh, yes, that's true.
But you also know that was the system. That was the system in the government that you worked.
When I spent more than 1 month in Mile 2, I asked permission to go and see Taba Maren and DG at the NIA.
You mean to tell us that you were allowed to leave Mile 2 prisons to go to...
I was escorted by the prison officers.
But do you know that is very abnormal?
I beg for it and they agree.
Royal family receiving different treatment?
Whether others have it or not, I don't know. But for me, because I was there, I don't even know what crime. So when I went to Marina, I said, Marina, I'm here for more than a month, getting to 2 months. I don't know my crime. Can you tell me? He said, the president said you are stubborn. So I have to go to Mile 2. Okay, anyway, I'm waiting for you there. Whenever you're ready, you come for me.
So your crime this time round was you were stubborn?
That's what Marina told me.
But I see one interesting feature of your arrest and detention. It was not just you, it was almost the men in one family.
Kunen let our bare kunine kanuma jone tu jiwali walde arungu.
What I gathered from sources about Ansumana and James. There was a day they went to Casamas. So on their way back, they passed through a village to see an old man.
An old Sering, is it?
An old man.
Was the
that man is a relative of ours. And when they came back, Yaya Jame's nephew, Asistamba, went to Casamas, passed through that village, and he was told by the old man that Ansumana and James were here, and they came from Sigenso and they are going home. When Assis came, he told Yaya Jame that these people went to see a Marabout who will deprive you from the Europeans. That was why Ansumana and James were arrested. And the following day, the same Assis told him that if you leave Abdoulie behind, he's the most dangerous person. Let him go. That's how I was arrested. But we were all released the same day. You see?
After 2 months.
Some days.
But you see that this was also Yaya Jame's modus operandi. He would attack a whole family. Some he would reward and the others he would punish.
But I know you come Yaya Jame uru lako bakane bola pas of family too bukaku panda aseni waf asumuya ni juseli bukaku na alum buko.
I personally told James to go back to America and live for Shia because he is Yaya's mate and I know him. He doesn't take nonsense for anybody other than even Yaya. I told him just go and allow us to stay here. Whatever happened, we'll take it. That's how James went back.
But my question was, Yaya Jame would attack a family. He would divide the family. Some he would reward and others he would punish.
But when he came, me woe me Yaya Jame pajo beri kan manjana kuolo or family yekon ma ati ken bukaku na akani ejak.
Well, he did that to my family.
But na kan mom
and his own family as well.
Tell us about it.
You heard about Masi and Aruna. They were of the same father and mother. Living in Woni, the same compound with
And what happened to them?
Well, I understand they were also killed by people who testified here. At the
instructions of Yaya Jame?
Oh, yeah, because what happened is, when Aruna was arrested, the sister confronted Yaya to know Aruna's whereabouts. That was the night the sister disappeared.
He killed them.
What they said, they testified here.
Did you know these people before?
Very well. They are one of their brothers is still there. Still in Kanilai.
Have you seen or heard from them since, Masi and Haruna?
No.
In a sense,
when Haruna was arrested in Kanilai, they passed through Dabong. Aruna nang kusa for Kanilai. Ko ba uye Dabong. With Aruna brought them to the state, to the NIA.
So Haruna was, your brother was arrested soon after Haruna. And
the same day.
The same day.
They brought Aruna from Kanilai. One Usman Kamba who went by Dabang Marina to go and arrest them and bring them.
Di bukulan ko bon daba mare ma ja soful man.
And that was the last time the families heard about them.
Yeah, me. What I family
That was the last time.
How do you feel that in your own family, Yaya Jammeh has killed 3 people?
Bukani eno au mati Yaya Jammeh family ya kan kono kufegir.
Very bad.
Ha, tenyi de.
Would you forgive him?
Puyam for.
That is not for me to say, but the family.
Letting you were a misankin mate dimba ya fango family I
have all men.
They want to decide
on him. I'm a small boy. In the midst of the family, cannot decide anything on behalf of the
family.
But
now let's talk about you. He did not even spare you, did he?
No. But I have also a family, and it is the family that can decide on my fate.
Give
this man, I'll forgive. Don't forgive, I will not forgive.
The camera people seem to be focusing on me. Perhaps when the witness answers, the witness should be showed to be answering. Thank you. He moved on to you after your brother and your cousin. Or your cousins for that matter.
Yes.
More.
You were again arrested.
That was in 2006.
You can imitate 2006.
That is the attempted coup of Nducham. After 1 week, one fine Saturday, that was the day of Setsetal. Around 1 o'clock, soldiers came to my house. And he said, sir, we are asked to come and pick you. I told them I was waiting for you. Then they asked me whether I knew about my arrest. I said yes. You are calling me to abscond, run. I said I'm not going anywhere. Those people that are telling lies, change their lies to be true because Abdullah is not here. He did it, that's why he ran away. I'm not that type. So we went up. So I boarded their car. When we went up to Kamalo, they told me that they said we should take you to prisons. They will take you to the NI and face the panel.
Fatika jom nutebi bebabu NIA mbujo jo lakodi e kafa yanko jumem yanko
I was in Mile 2 from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night.
Ya njumdo di Mile 2 kabiri di samedi be mante be funaka fe arabaye fokaray.
And soldiers came and opened my cell.
No ku militaire ku bibi ku wombo sele yumbo.
Do you recognize them?
Mante no umanji manji.
Yes, Sanamanjang and group.
Sanamanjang di kafa yola.
And who were the other members of the group? The team that came to remove you.
Salmanjang was there. Malik Jata was there. Michael Korea was there. But Tafa Sane and others were at the conference room.
But Tafa Sane or the Kupala go dear conference
where they normally put handcuffs on people.
What you are taking to the NI. Now, when I came out from the security wing,
and Sana told the prison officer, is this Abdoulie Kujabi? Then he kicked my this toe, it dislocated.
Which part of your foot are you saying? Or the ankle?
The ankle. So I couldn't walk. I had to slim up to the.
When I reach
the conference room,
the conference room.
I put my hands behind my back. Put the hanger. Even now you can see the marks of the hanger. Press it until it started splitting blood. And then
how did that feel?
Terrible. And they put me inside the car and took me to the NIA. When we arrived at the NIA, it was the same Sana who called me and pulled me out of the vehicle.
What was his mental state at the time?
He was drunk.
How do you know that?
Where in the vehicle I was sitting, there is a 20 liter of palm wine and mixed with other stuffs. And then there is a cup. If they walk quite small, then you see somebody spilling and drinking while you are sitting in front of them. When we arrived at the conference, at the reception in the NIA, and he said, you Abdoulie Kujabi. Sama finta dobong anata jobong kanilai. And look at him.
What did you understand him to mean?
Wana furi mafana reginya nyamo abunu sofefo.
Dobong anata jio bin jio fete kanilai.
Emiteri merimen kanilai mejo elup dobong.
That means what I was aspiring did not work according to what he said. Everything is synthetic light, so I cannot be. Ni sama hinta dobonjang fighter jobong kanila. That means we are only seeing the cloud, but the rain is happening in Kanilai.
You can only have false hopes.
I did not answer. Then Tumultamba came and said, you must tell us all the marabouts you went. I told him, look, you are a small boy to me. Don't ever play with me. Think of yourself, not me. And Musa Jame was holding a big hammer. And then he said, if you don't talk the truth, I'm going to blow your head. Look at Musa. I said, I sympathize with you. Two of you will not live to tell this story. That's what happened. Then, Sanamanjang light a cigarette and burn all my eyebrows.
You mean your eyelids, huh?
Yeah, the bruises, the eyelids, yeah. And if we smoke, the ashtray is in my body. And then he will be laughing.
Musa Jame, what was his state of mind?
Musa Jame, what I claim,
he was standing holding a hammer with a
were all of them drunk?
No, we are not. Then Ismaila Jame told this man, Sanamanjang, this boy brought us up. I know him very well. Even if he kills a person and nobody was there, if you ask him, he will tell you, yes, I did it. Stop maltreating him. He nearly quarreled there.
Asi kun kulobento.
Almam Nakastawa Ismail cock his pistol.
Ismail na ayabe me
Jalvanya also cock his pistol.
Na manyam popo na ayabe me.
And then Tumbul intervened.
No tumbula no kemiti toro.
Ismail went out.
Ismail no na puru mi majo.
Then they took me behind the reception.
No tebambe baba nya de bulenka bate lupe donc walnem ko jabaranga.
They asked me to lie on my stomach.
No ko loba me ko ne finto fimo.
Then Sana Manjang.
Ya Sana Manjang.
Malik Jata.
O Malik Jata.
Michael Korea. Started beating me up until I became unconscious. And they dragged me up. I couldn't speak. They brought me back.
Not so fast. Let's take it step by step. What were they using to beat you?
Hose pipes.
Hose pipe.
At this time, were you free in your movement?
All my hands were hung up behind, and the key is left at mile 2. And it was
So how did you come to lie down on your stomach?
They pushed me. I fell on it.
How many of them were beating you?
3.
Did they at any point in time cover your head with anything?
No, they did not cover my head.
For how long were you beaten, if you can estimate?
Between 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
I know that you said you fainted.
During
that period, were you at any point in time slightly conscious of events that were going on around you?
Yes, when they dragged me up to the panel, I heard what they said.
For the who?
For the body. What is this? How can you expect somebody to speak in this condition?
But Mr. Witness, at this stage, before that, did Fode ask you a question? Or did anybody ask you a question?
Nobody asked me. I only asked for water to drink. I fainted again.
So what this conversation that you are recounting now, how did you come to know about it if you were unconscious while you were before the panel?
Nya kasanken kanu rege nya mati ko konu jame fode asanken nanu rege battundo ya mo kalam ta fanga fiya bunu kane mu jamante o kalam ta fanga fiya.
I was not conscious that time because that's why I asked for water.
What akile ngi yino today mo kam ni lawi mo kuno mela mira wana ni rami mela na ko sena mela mira non la mi yino
because of the beatings.
So did
eteke ko teka miriri.
So this statement about Fode Bari, how did you come to know about it?
I
heard him before I asked for water. Then this man, General Tamba, told him, stop this talk because if Musa Jame hears you, he will report you to Yajam and you will be in trouble.
General Tamba Musa Jame Jamum, Pana Ajara Jame, Ban Aragama, Kuepe, quality out.
That's what General Tamba told Fode Bari.
General Tamba won't give me Fode Bari.
Did you hear this conversation or was this conversation recounted to you later?
I heard I heard about it and it was again repeated to me again by Fode himself.
And the Janjam again, I was aware.
But these panel members, were they aware that you were tortured?
Bare bukana ke pale ne mante kuma manyamati ko koba nageri.
All of them knew that I was tortured. Because I was dragged up without even, I cannot even walk. They hold my hand and drag me up. Cannot even sit or so when I drank water, I became then they took me down, put me in a vehicle. I didn't even know until I woke up the following morning and saw myself in my cell in my room.
Ni tundo mi ni kutoba momo kulanga ndeselombo fatka jonno ni wolo ito mi rek.
At that time, even if you ask the security officer, they will tell you that he's dead. We're just waiting for them to announce his death. Nobody knew that I was unconscious.
And when you came to, what injuries did you notice you sustained?
Nanu jolo mu kalamta fangafia. Wanu ujikedi enile ya
my ankle, my bodies were all with blood all over. And I was there from, even if I want to go to the bathroom, they have to hold me. Even if I drink water, I will vomit. Cannot even eat food from Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That was the day the Egyptian doctor who normally goes around.
Egyptian doctor.
All my aunts took me to the conference where the doctor was. As soon as he saw me, he requested the ambulance to take me to the hospital immediately. Then I was taken to the hospital and admitted at the emergency and accident. And I was given 15 bottles of drips. Then I started walking on a wheelchair. Even my sister, who was working at the RVH, every day she will boil water and and if he's bathing me, I will feel some hot liquid behind me, then I know he's crying. I told her, look, I will not die of this. I'm after spending some time in the hospital, an uncle of mine of the same name with me died in the hospital. Whole country thought it was Abdoulie Kujabi. Even my relatives will come from Dakar to Dobong.
Did any people from the government inquire as to what happened to you?
Susan Wafa Ogu, the minister, came. Then when he came, he saw an empty bed. She passed. Then she sent the orderly to ask the nurse, the person who was in the bed. And the nurse said, it is Abdoulie Kujabi sitting down there. Then they called me. I came, he said, I have come to see you. I told Susan, do not lie, because you are sent by the president because you heard of my death. I am still alive. No, Susan, I told him, if you come to see me with this condition and is not aware, Today you are shocked.
Maniko neno au kanya au bibi bejo beju kinje. Man yaya manju tumata onu bibi abonyulti. Au jat ko be ka kesori broka bol.
He said no, you know, don't take it that way. I said yes.
Neno mi nano mi hani le mo tak musof momu neno mo.
He gave me 300. I said I'm not receiving any money here.
Sana misi kemisi feji neno nji hane godi yako
and I don't want to see you here again.
Mani mangu tu be jukita te koteke.
Then she left.
Nanona la mi boot.
Stories circulated around town that you are blind or paralyzed.
Kibarai faso de suke matiko au tanenya nulenjuro jerit ban post kilo sosof.
I was never blind, but I was sitting on a wheelchair for more than a month.
Kilo mbo musafudde bare ni lakula si junkotas au jef len fakon.
I was doing some physiotherapist at the RVH. Up to now, I'm still having that problem in my back. You asked me to walk from here to the office. Come back, that is why I'm still taking my treatment. I did 3 years in Dakar.
This is some 15 years ago.
Because
I spent 1 year, 10 months in the hospital in mile 2. When I was admitted in the RVH, I was not discharged. Dr. Pachanjai came and told me that we are asked to release you and send you back to mile 2.
Doctor Njang kone pacha na bim na ko bareke mami ko kateli man ko langi ni be der
mile 2. Just do it before you lose your job.
I want them
to write an undertaking that you are not discharged, but they requested. So that if anything happens tomorrow, we'll know what to tell you.
Mambekan wafan manje kajam ukatene ja dere ulanja wafo baje biko manyo katon free ma body biko purlo.
Did they do it?
Mante ko kankan.
Junior officer signed my return to prison. Not the Secretary General refused, the State Guard Commander refused, the CDS refused.
CDS nalat Secretary General buku karungu nyam
nobody want to take up responsibility.
Hani akona manguta sign keta ko basena anano manja nyila sekundi man sekunda mamba sa parce que anosa na mangutu be karoko no so to me baje woto kankande buko tu kukoli en koli.
Because what they said was, the AU is coming, they are sort of hands, blah, blah, blah. So I should go back every week. They should bring me for treatment at very. I said, no. The people that normally come to see me. Somebody told Ajame that I used to have a lot of visitors. It's not safe, so they have to take me back.
But with regards to your torture, who do you think is ultimately responsible?
I must have given them instructions. Let me tell you, my relationship, my problem with Yaya was not lack of whether not executing the job properly or going against his orders. No.
Inge baje kolya dia jame kantu mante burka bumoy kantu bojak mante imangutol di emdayola
because of my popularity
man kami karesa kumbo kankam kujamo jamo fang
and that is in me since I was a small boy.
Wan inge do kankan na momu di baje rek
wherever I go with a lot of crowd.
No san inge bukana ke meng.
When I was redeployed to Brikama, now I should go around my my division at their local. We set a date, started from Kalaji coming to the Kombos. When we when we left Sibanor coming to Ndemban, we met with Yaya Jammeh's convoy going to Kanilai. Started counting my vehicles. The vehicles that were following me at the entourage. Because the vehicles were more than 50. When he reached in Kanilai and I was in Faraba, he called me. He said, but your this store is too many people. I said, yes. But we are doing also reconciliation. There are people who are angry among themselves, and we have to talk to them so that they can reconcile. The way he sounded, I knew he was not happy. And I called James. Told him, the president has called me, but I know he's not happy with what he saw. Then when I completed my tour, the CDS Babakar Jatta went to State House and said, hey, the president, if you see Abdullah's meeting in Tujereng, it was even more than when you came there. And then he started laughing. He didn't know that the man is not happy to hear that.
Tell us.
He called me. Babukar called me to tell me what he told Yaya. I told him, you have put me in trouble.
And for Yaya Jammeh, it's all competition with him.
That's true.
If you have this car, he must have a better car. Or he takes that one. If you have a house, he must have a better house or he takes yours.
That is true.
If you have a business, he must have a better one or he takes yours.
That's true.
If you have a farm, he must have a better farm or he takes yours.
That's
gangsterism, isn't it? Could you answer?
That is true.
So you're saying he was a gangster too?
That is true.
And he would go to any extent to get what he wanted.
That's true.
And in your case, it was torture until you fainted.
It was not only that. The reason for Yaya Jammeh forming the Justice Paul Commission is because of us. Because in my case, if you look at the report the Justice Paul wrote about me, few lines. The commission have recommended that you should pay this and this and this amount. The reason for the payment was not even known. Said, I'm not going to pay a penny. I went to court, and then I took Mr. Gay, and then he applied for a stay of execution. Under Justice Eswako, that Commonwealth Judge. Commonwealth Judge. He gave us the stay of execution.
state of execution.
He said the commission is at par with the High Court, so they are not going to honor what the court has said. So they have to implement what the commissioner said.
Nani commissioner ko High Court ko free fakun nya ko
said that?
The IG, Commissioner Usman Sonko, when he was the IG. So he must execute what the commission said.
Commissioner mi wo furma fakili afo foto me jumi. IG o mi Usman Sonko.
And then what happened?
They took us to the NIA.
And
asked us to surrender our title deeds as a collateral. I told them I have no compound, I have no title deed to surrender. They said then we'll detain you. I said fine. I was there till 12 midnight. And I was asked to go home. And I should report the following day at 10 o'clock. I went there and they asked me the same question, whether I have a title. I said I have no title deed. Then they investigated, they saw that even the compound I was staying belongs to Musa Drame, the present Minister of Local Government.
Local government of land, Minister of Local Government of
the whole demand has nothing. Forget about him. That is how my compound did not go. But all my vehicles were taken away. And then they took it to IJM's store and they were auctioned. This is what happened.
How did you feel about all this after everything you have done for Yaya Jammeh?
Ujikeja wanu kan mi Yaya Jammeh tu wan akani mi bu safeno.
Let me tell you, when it comes to position and riches, I have no relative or friend.
Ujala ja kom kueti makamai di kueti fubajaf ya jama wajeta an ankun name.
Even if I give you a car today, a brand new car,
ani ya awul asini jate auto
you drive it for 10 years and you have problem with him,
butte yo mante simit ko nyen ne baj problem.
Car is in the garage, he will ask people to tow it and take it back to him.
Nan lo bakana ku tebe mota ku fulio man ku lange no beri o.
That is his type.
Ya o mi ya.
He's very vindictive.
Akan kana no manjone akatribo hani waf.
He's very vindictive.
Yeah, that's true.
But even though a lot of people say that Yaya Jammeh had really done a lot for the Jola, he has helped them a great deal, the evidence also is that he has gone very badly against the Jolas, especially those he believed were a threat to his authority.
Bare ujike ja pop kamenge kure reg matiko Yaya Jammeh na kankan wajake wajupo ya kujola na kani kama jake majupo ya bare pop na tiken kamenge kanu manjone ku kuribo na kuli moli.
I have here Exhibit 9 and he is said to have killed the following: Momadou Lamine Nyasi.
Kaita kaniye kenya kuise isen matiko nabubuju ankone Momadou Nyasi.
From Buyam.
Apurom Buyam.
Buba Sanyang. From Buyam.
Apulom Buyam.
Dongo Mbub. From Buyam. Modou Lamine Kujabi. From Dobong.
Napulo.
Dauda Nyasi. From Bondali. Arona Jammeh. And Masi Jammeh from Kanilai. Woni Kanilai. Sise Jata from Bujiling.
Sise Jata Bujiling.
Tumbul Tamba and Musa Jammeh from Sintet.
Tumbul Tamba de Musa
Jammeh from Sintet. Samba Kujabi from Kanwali.
Samba Jasi Kanwali.
Kujabi from Kanwali.
Samba Kujabi Sanwali.
And Lamin Baji from Sintet. And those whom he detained, tortured, or detained, simply detained or imprisoned.
Di kanu manjone poko ba safere kunen tintakon ka ku teki tek ka ku kunen inen tintakon rek.
Lang Tombong Tamba Sintet.
Lang Tombong Tamba Sintet.
Landing Sane Kanwali.
Landing Sane Kanwali.
Ibrahima Bun Sane Wasadu.
Ibrahima Bun Sane Wasadu.
Abdoulie Kujabi, that's yourself, Dobong.
Abdoulie Kujabi, akami aufang Dobong.
James is not on the list, but James also Dobong, James Kujabi.
James kare sakola akulet ko dikay takbare James.
He was detained, but he was not tortured.
Yes, I would also add Haruna Kujabi.
Pi innen to pop Haruna Kujabi.
Which Haruna Kujabi? No.
Ansumana, sorry.
Ansumana
Kujabi.
James, yes.
And James, yes. Modu Baji.
Modu Baji.
Kanjibatu.
Kanjibatu.
Esa Baji from Sibanor.
Esa Baji, Sibanor.
Bintanding Jaju Block.
Bintanding Jaju Block.
Modu Manga Kambagal.
Modu Manga Kambagal.
Usman and Pahari Jame from Kanilai and Alfuseni Jame from Kanilai.
Usman Pahari Jame di Alfuseni Jame Kanilai.
Ibrahim Amare Buyam.
Ibrahim Amare Buyam.
Kausu Jiba Dobong.
Kausu Jiba Dobong.
Wiye Sane Arankon.
Wiye Sane Arankon.
Suleiman Bojang Kanilai.
Suleiman Bojang Kanilai.
Idrissa Koli Dobong.
Idrissa Koli Dobong.
Solo Bojang Karor.
Solo Bojang Karor.
Jibril Bojang Bolengat.
Jibril Bojang Bolengat.
Aziz Tamba Kanjong.
Aziz Tamba Kanjong.
Kausu Kamara Kalaji.
Kausu Kamara Kalaji.
And a whole lot of other people who were dismissed from their jobs.
Modu
Lamin Jiba Dobong.
Modu Lamin Jiba Dobong.
Ibu Koli Bondali.
Ibu Koli Dombali.
Bondali. Lamin Jobate of Sibanor.
Lamin Jobate Sibanor.
Boli Koli Foni Jarol.
Boli Koli Foni Jarol.
Karafa Tamba Wasadu.
Karafa Tamba Wasadu.
Vincent Bori Tamba Wasadu.
Vincent Bori Tamba Wasadu.
Baba Kujabi Kanwali.
Baba Kujabi Kanwali.
Benjame Dobong. Sorry, Kanilai.
Benjame Kanilai.
Okay, now James is here. Pateba Kampasa.
Pateba Kampasa.
Pa Edward Sajasane Wasadu.
Pa Edward Sajasane Wasadu.
Bala Musa Sanyang Demban.
Bala Musa Sanyang Demban.
Modu Lamin Jaju Buyam.
Modu Lamin Jaju Buyam.
Ibrahima Jaju Buyam.
Ibrahima Jaju Buyam.
Ansumana Jamme Kanilai.
Ansumana Jamme Kanilai.
Lamin Sane Sibanor.
Lamin Sane Sibanor.
Dino Haidara Wasadu.
Dino Haidara Wasadu.
Abdoulie Tamba Sintet.
Abdoulie Tamba Sintet.
Abasanyang Buyam.
Abasanyang Buyam.
Pa Usman Bojang Bujinga.
Pa Usman Bojang Bujinga.
Okay, Yankuba Drame Buyam.
Yankuba Drame Buyam.
Modu Jame Alakunda.
Modu Jame Alakunda.
Ibrahima Drame Buyam.
Ibrahima Jame Buyam.
Sekuba Jaju Sangajor.
Sekuba Jaju Sangajor.
And Yaya Jame, is it Makumbaya or Makumbaya?
Yaya Jame Makumbaya.
These are all people.
From
mainly from Foni. Yaya Jame went again.
I don't know how deep, how you got it, but if you go to the people that were giving this concussion for the witches, 10 times more than what is written here.
Bukana kan kusemmi beba na bang kurege mbata ku yala ko ku fang man ku jupo e buko kanu bajum de kayta ku fang.
Because it started with a man called Sangtamba. When Sangtamba died, they brought those fullermen from Guinea. This was all happening in Foni.
And kutong mo mi Sangtamba. Ona na jimmi no ku jom nguru kunine.
Who was Sangtamba?
Foni
ay mala ko no Sangtamba.
Sangtamba is from Casamance, and he claimed to know who is a witch and who is not a witch.
Sangtamba o Casamance na pulo banana bi mina rek nani ona man ayama ayalaw di akantuma ayalaw.
But he died.
Barna jinjim.
What happened was he attacked somebody from Casamance. The guy's elder brother was in the army in Casamance. The guy said, now he's in Canada, let's wait until he come to Wasedung, Casamance, then we'll get him. When he went to Wasedung, they took him and detainment in Dakar. I think they gave him some injections that will keep him alive for some time. When they knew that everything now is in his body, they sent him home, and he died 3 days when he arrived in
And?
Yeah.
And he died, that's all. Then Yaya did not stop there. Then he went for those Fulamen in Guinea. Because he said he's going to wipe out all the witches in Fonyi and in fact in the Gambia. Because those Fulamen up to Combo here, police, whatever. A lot of people eventually died as a result of that.
Why was Yaya doing this?
I wouldn't know. He said he's fighting a witchcraft that he wants to eliminate throughout the country. That's what. Because I heard him on one of the rallies that if you don't stop being witches, I know what to do with you people. I heard him. And who are not. And that's what happened.
Do you think he was completely sane?
Such a human being will never, because witchcraft is created by God, and anyone cannot stop it, whether you like it or not. So you think you can challenge God what God has created? No, a mature human being will never think of
Mr. Witness, our interpreters are tired. I think I should just leave it at that, Mr. Chair, and I would ask just one last question. We are really sorry about this. But just before we end it, how do you feel about all this?
Very bad.
Are you prepared to forgive and reconcile with Yaya Jammeh and all his men? For unlawfully arresting you and detaining you and torturing you? For unlawfully arresting members of your family and detaining them? For the killing of your brother? For the killing of your 2 cousins? And for the witchcraft in which lots of people were killed in Fonyi and beyond? And for all the degrading treatment Yaya Jammeh has meted on you? Do you forgive him? Or would you forgive him?
That is up to the family to decide. Because if anything happened to me today, it is the family that would sit and discuss about it. They said, let's forget about it. It's a grandson to our family. Things went, it will be difficult to forgive like that without sitting and discussing a way forward. It's not easy. Especially those people who are not even relatives, whom he is sending to destroy us. No.
No further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Council, and thank you very much, Mr. Kujabi, for coming to testify before the Commission.
Council, kati asida Mr. Kujabi nanu jolom be esenet furi mafia di commissioner.
First, Council, you preempted me, but 3 cheers to the interpreters. You did very well indeed. Thank you so much. Sorry you had to do it one for a long, long time, and then the second one also came in. Nonetheless, you did a splendid job. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I think you need to say it. You can interpret that.
Oh.
The people to hear what the good job that you have done.
Si junguta si fejes au di bukana kambe kanno sora dani ha no kanka mbroka bajaka no kata fanka bi bujumre o lo meka sankana na baraka na kontan ko yeli.
Just one small point from me. The religious manifestations that Jammeh exhibited, carrying the Quran with him, the praying beads, I don't know what's in the sword. How religious was he really? You grew up with him. You knew him very well. It's a gap. I'm not getting into Jammeh's private religious beliefs and other things out there between him and Allah. That's his business. That's his private thing. But what he is demonstrating to the country, what he demonstrates to the world, the kind of religious person he is. Can you just say a little bit on that point, just to fill the gap, at least for me?
Wani mambekegi wae kapana ke dinai ya jama kankana no manjone nayi sey sentie mbati ko kankana nati dine buju ko asofe kitaba ya so etasabe na sof wafa no manjone da wise se mbati anati dine bakani rabola tu dimba sankene rabola pu sof mata nati dine bare ni man be manji di aw an manjone jibaba tinta kon jibaker ji tinta kon jikuluwe ni man be manji aw di e manje no manji mi yaaya jamme nen kane karaela ko de mitay bo tutoreli bare ni awanu manjmi ni man mu ragom yaaje me man an bumo jawlo jaali wa pati dini.
I'm raising these questions to get a better understanding, as we have done. You've helped us tremendously on lots of things that we need to know about the man that Gambia has been saddled with for 22 years.
Ujuk jami kengi ulu panramben ni mu manji ana nu manjone nu lakor di od simit kabanan di waf mu ngo nu manjo jak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Baraka, Chairman.
What I do know, I've never seen Yaya in any karanta. I've never seen him. Where he got that knowledge, I wouldn't know.
Karanta should be interpreted. Perhaps it means a Quranic school or a
Quranic, where they normally put log on fire, people sit around having their reciting the whole Quran. I've never seen him do that.
What about leading prayers?
I only pray in his house, but as a congregation, no, I've never seen it.
Did you ever look at the Quran that he carries?
I have never looked at it because you can have translation in English and whatever. That is why he's holding it to himself.
You really can't say much about that aspect of it.
The way the time he started holding the Quran was when he was the president. But before that, I've never seen him holding the Quran.
I mean, I can't say Safi Al-Quran momo. I can't president. No, you come. No, you come. Safi Al-Quran momo. Tasabaya momo.
Where he got knowledge, I don't know.
Maybe Gabriel came to him. Imam, you have. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you have the floor, please. Commissioners, yes.
Witness.
Asira.
You are the most truthful witness that sat on that chair. In view of this and in view of the fact that you have disclosed all the things that were hidden, you think people in this country should blindly follow Yaya Jammeh again? Thank you.
I don't think. The reason being, when people team up together to vote against him, that means they know who the person is, and now they will never vote him to come in again. After hearing all what has happened in the country through this, any matured human being will aspire for such a character to come back as a head of state. Better for the Gambians to give it to me than any other person.
Deputy Chair, you have the floor, please.
Deputy Chair Mbaju Kasanken.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, Esa. Thank you, witness. We are truly sorry for what your family had to go through.
But the
TRRC has got different committees that it works with. And in addition to the public hearings which we are holding, we do a lot of behind the scenes work. And this includes community outreach, sensitization programs, reconciliation. You have said that the list that the lead council read was not representative of the numbers of people that were affected by the witch hunts. And I will add other atrocities. But when we went for the outreach hearings, there were some communities that resolutely refused to testify even in private to the TRRC. Thus affecting not only our ability to establish the complete truth, but also our attempts at healing and reconciling the nation. Because this is our mandate, to heal and reconcile the nation, not to divide the nation. But it is unfortunate that there are some communities and some people, the minute you talk about the TRRC or talk about this resistance, they see you as following a particular person, as following a particular ethnic group, or even a region. This is sad. This is sad. And I really want to know what your perspectives on this are.
Thank you very much. Because for me, I thought the people you should have consulted to go with them, and then they tell their people the real story for them to come out were left behind. And you know these dollars, especially the illiterate ones, when they came to hear TRRC, they thought it is an institution that is bent on destroying only Yaya Jammeh. Look in my case. When President Barrow was touring the country, I was in Kalaji, and then I attended all the meetings he did in Fonyi. A lot of people came, but some were not happy. But I told them, look, if anybody is bold enough to face me and say, stop fooling Alambar, that person is dead. Because I'm thinking of my own brother. No human being is better than the other. So if they think, if you tell them, look at even in Kanila itself. Kanila is divided into two. The area that Yaya owns was fenced. The big Kanila was open. And even the alcalde of Kanila, Masre, died because of this Fuller's concussions. That is Ben's elder brother. So some people are afraid to come, but they know. I will tell you, 2016 election, you know, Aram Barrow won Yaya Jammeh in Kanila itself. You know that?
Mr. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, the interpreters.
Sorry.
Yes, don't forget the interpreters.
But I hope, can I start again? Oh.
Just repeat come love rek te mu lang bi bu fa mum ko lañ 5 ans aussi correct.
What I said is, when the TRRC went to Fonyi, there are certain people they should have met who would have guided them how to approach certain individuals. But this was not the case. Because for Fonyi, I used to tell people, APRC does not belong to Fonyi. But because Yaya Jammeh is from Fonyi, even if you don't like him, you don't even say it in the open. Only people like us who bold enough to talk. But others, even if you talk to them about that, they will just go leave it there and go. This is it.
Thank you. Now the other question is in relation to the earlier statements that you made about the July 22nd movement.
Jojo kandi kuweti July 22nd movement.
How soon was it disbanded after you had that meeting with the president?
Nanu baje meeting the president mante piyo banjanun ko fasorio.
3 days.
Okay, because you have talked about their training in Libya.
Yes.
But were you also aware that they were having in-country training by Libyans who were flown in to train them?
I was
aware. This was during the transition.
Thank you. I wanted confirmation of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Carr. You have the floor.
Commissioner Carr,
thank you, Chairman.
Chairman,
and thank you, witness, for your testimony. And sorry for what happened to you. You mentioned something very interesting, and because you told this commission that you are loyal to Jammeh because he was your family member. And Council did mention cases of people who, like Sana Manjang, who were loyal to him because they were not, who were loyal to him even though they were not family to him.
Bare po akan sulana I won't tata bukan kanen Sana Manjang kanu manjone ko po kuri benori ben fang wano sa wana mawoku kanen banku world.
What is clear from your testimony
Wani jukumi di kasanke nakia.
And from our investigations is that there are people who are so loyal to him that whatever he told them or he asked them to do, they would do it.
Baba kan kanu manjone kamanga kan kumango mankon karibe na kola wanosa wanaragim kan ko kan.
How does Jammeh build that loyalty? How did he build that loyalty? How was he able to?
Mante pungo nureg yaya buna kane manta abaji kamanga ko di bukana kaman wanosa na manganon ko kan.
Some were doing it because of their positions.
Kaku kokboy kane kuyu mat kuet e palace yang kokumi.
They can maintain their position.
Pour palace yang kokumi tak me musse pour de kanyana koli. Mo kam ko mango manga ka wuy nyam.
Thank you. The final question is, did you get your jujus back?
Emi tekati wani mang be kenge la bange mante si safeta sia nu jojo bach soba.
I got them back since that time. They are still with me.
I will give
some to Ezafal.
I definitely do need them.
What about Chairman?
No.
An old man, I will give it to Esa.
Thank you.
We wouldn't allow Esa in the hall here with jujus on. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Imam C, Anbejo Kasanken.
Maybe you can offer prayers and not jujus.
Mr. Kujabi, ñu ngi lay nuyu de la sant itam de la jaale itam sa mbokk mi. Man li ma lay laaj mooy ñaari mbir mooy sa rakk bi.
Mr. Kujabi, I want to ask 2 questions. Your brother, your younger brother.
Saja Kujabi.
Kujabi.
Which one magla?
He's my brother.
Kujabi. ñoom luñ defoon sa jafe-jafe yi rek moo leen indil jafe-jafe wala itam dafa am luñ defoon yaa jëm.
What did they do? Was it the difficulty that you were facing? That's the same experience they had, or they committed a different crime?
ñoom ñëpp musu ñoo liggéey ci government yaa jëm.
All of them never work in Yajame's government.
But because suma mag.
But because my brother is Gisaja.
Nit ñi foñi sax xam nañ ne kooku nit ku tul la.
Even people at Fonyi knows that he's a very righteous person.
So now
he has charms.
Léegi nag comme que Ablaye mu ngi ci problème.
So now, as far as Ablaye is in a problem,
suñ teewul Gisaja.
If they don't arrest Gisaja,
dina def loo xam ne kenn fogu ko.
He will do what nobody will even.
Fonyi yëpp xam nañ loolu ci ñun.
Every person, every child of Fonyi knows that.
So moom mu ngi doon gàttandeku pour close the gap between man ak suma mag.
So he was just trying to be in between me and my brother.
Close that gap.
Ansumana man maa toppa ci Ansumana moo toppa ci suma mag waaye moom.
I am next to Ansumana and Ansumana was also next to our elder brother.
Yeah, Jammeh do am relationship ak tubaab bi, which was a lie.
For Ansumana, they accuse him that he was the one. He will cause for Jammeh not to have anything from the white people.
Jërëjëf.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. Please, Imam.
One last question, please. Seems you are very much interested in participating in reconciliation in your area. You rightly said that we did not consult the right people to get to the people. Would you accept to work with us now to get to the people? And other people who you think can help us get to the people? That's the question.
How many people precisely do you want to be part of your team?
Kankono butumbu jimangi fang mambe kungono kunabdi ikafayolo.
We'll discuss this later on. If you give your consent, as the chairperson of the Reconciliation Committee, I will talk to my committee and we'll get back to you, and with permission from the Commission, we'll certainly be able to do something for this. I am
ready. If anything that will bring peace to the country, I am ready.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a key component of our mandate. Pursuing that would be a wonderful thing. Sorry, Commissioner Samba, you asked for the floor?
Thank you very much, Chairman.
Chairman, Emitakati.
Baraka, Mr. Abdoulie Kujabi.
Thank you, Mr. Abdoulie Kujabi.
And the meeting open no la ma foite abaraka.
We can't end this meeting and I didn't say thank you.
Because nimu dotinu.
If you were someone else, people like you have passed through this set. They are jolas. But they never wanted to disclose what Yaya Jammeh did. I believe you have said it to the commission that you are related with Yaya Jammeh. But you stood and revealed everything that he has done to you, and the whole world is a witness.
Ntel TRRC ka kodo di mollale pour yesi Yaya Jammeh tinya ngamira tumando bije bi niete la la testimony jube ibalo ndale ko tonya mu tonya doroneti.
Now I believe all those people who sit out there and say we pay people to come and give testimonies, if they hear your testimony, they will believe that this is the truth. Those who say Yaya is so-so's person friend. Yaya has no friend. Because today, where you are seated, Commissioner, I cannot interpret that. Sorry.
Katunko bi ite lotale yafo Yaya mumosi fa menti anite kato menke Yaya ite mako yoro menke Yaya manejo fenfenna faya jo nyin tajire yala.
Because today you have stood and revealed the kind of person Yaya Jammeh is. He didn't look at the things that you have done for him. And everybody should expect that when Yaya Jammeh returns, because people believe that he will be back, that he will do something that is things that are worse than what he has done to you. Be whosoever is listening to your testimony would know that you swore to the Quran and you are speaking the truth. And whosoever sat here, if you ask them, they say Yaya didn't say that. So I am sympathizing with you or empathizing with you. Your brother who has passed on, I'm also praying for his soul to rest well. And you too, may Allah give you that heart so that because you have fulfilled your obligation as a Muslim. I can't end without saying thank you. Because Jolas like you are not much here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mbarunga fem fo me along ko tumando molbe jameno malong. Yaya mama muso me ya ba ma wulu. Awotan dolla swala ko.
Many people will never know. Yaya Jammeh came from.
Yalong yellow man tamodi. But mulatina
But why is it that what happened, I won't say it? Because when I was coming here, I came here because Allah brought me and I was given the Quran and asked to swear. If we are to,
I would be born.
If I wouldn't be born, I wouldn't be born telling a lie. That is why I said everything I knew. People outside there can take it however they want, but I am Abdoulie Kujabi. If you are not pleased with what I say, you can come and meet me at my house.
Baraka, kuma jamale fota janite kanaja wala tinang kontende nola mafo ya baraka.
Thank you. So many things have been said here. That is why I cannot end my intervention without saying thank you.
Baraka.
Thank you very much, Emma, for your testimony again, Mr. Kujabi. If you have any final remarks to make, please proceed to make them now.
Emitekate Mr. Kujabi de manujola mu sen seda yi anen kanu man baba kurim kala bange kanu man derek ngono sankenya.
I understand you might want to make them in Jola, or was that it? Or
yeah, nama man be man te mama be kasanken Jola wala.
It's his language of choice.
Yes, that's fine. Go ahead.
Let me continue
in English.
The English I started.
Super.
Because I want all of us to know or be aware of what is going to be. First of all, I would like to thank the TRRC the job they are doing.
I tend to TRRC broka bajaka bankombe kane.
I discussed this with the lead council, I think on Tuesday, outside. I want your investigators to open up. It's not that Abdoulie Kujabi said this, so we'll take it like that. No. But if you follow certain things, you will know whether the person is taking the TRRC for a ride or not. I'm saying this in the case of Yaya Boja, who testified here against me at the early stage. Yaya said because of the torture, that's why his sons were like this. But if you took out his socks, you will see that all the bodies are like this. That is a sickness from all the members of his family. So if the investigations did not go in to find out who this man is by getting in touch with his associates, his family, they would not know. And the man went away with $350,000 on no ground, just because I went to the TRRC, I lied, now I'm getting money. The TRRC is very important for that.
Yaya Boja na tete siguro sa naman si keme si feji manje nanjo na kom na sof menon ngebi bi TRRC di jomi gajuro e ke baji bogodobe man warante kamo TRRC wa fa no manje fu fa legene fu
the day he said this statement here,
na rek mu forma fu dere
people were calling me all over.
na ko lekole wonke bobu bana bu kapana bu tu
Yaya is also a grandson to our family.
Nini mi Yaya umu fonju ko nyama meri ngoli di family yoli.
How can I do such a thing?
And the
time he was saying
that
10 soldiers arrested him. Who is he to be arrested by 10 soldiers? When I have my NI person, even 2 can go and bring him. That is why I'm appealing to the TRRC to be widening their investigation. Otherwise, now that he thought he's scot-free, others will also want to emulate the same thing. That's what I wanted to appeal, so that we can all look at it. I'm not saying that you should go and arrest him because he has already squandered the money. No problem. But in any recurrence, you know what to do next. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kujabi, for that. I have been informed by the chair of the Reparations Summer Committee that that money to Yaya Bojang did not come from the TRRC.
No.
Yeah. No, I just want to put that on the record. But again, thank you so much, for your...
And also to put on the record that the TRRC has investigated the hands, and we know what we know.
Bukana TRRC kujo kunyes kuetu ngene wala tanenya TRRC ko waram ko manyi ko manju.
Thank you.
Abaraka.
Thank you very much indeed again, Mr. Kujabi. Thanks for your testimony.
Abaraka.
We will conclude our proceedings here for today and come back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock sharp. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.